Me immensely. Using rape as a means to destroy someone politically is like spitting in the faces of the true victims. Guap saying she has now made it difficult for other women who are being genuinely violated in the workplace to be taken seriously. Piwo Hutle saying either way, Vavi's integrity has been brought into question, and what does this do for real victims of rape or sexual assault going forward? Greg saying if Vavi ever completely gets through all this mess, it's hard to imagine him getting back to workers' issues with the same vigor and legitimacy. And Sibongile saying this whole Vavi story is more layered rather than trifle. Will he be disciplined for sleeping with a subordinate at the workplace or not? Now, our contributing editor, Vuyo Mvoko, is with us, and he's going to help unpack this story. The charges have been withdrawn in a shock twist. Is Zwelinzima Vavi off the hook?
Not at all. I would imagine not. And the reasons, two reasons for that. One is by his own admission, he committed the act in the office. So for someone could then, theoretically or hypothetically at least, then want to institute charges of misconduct or improper conduct. And depending obviously on how that pans out, then this thing will come up again. And remember that there's been a lot of people who are keen to see Vavi's back, who want him out of COSATU because they believe, well, depending who you listen to and whether you believe them, some would say, no, he's leading COSATU in a completely different direction to that envisaged by its membership, well, as others don't think that is pursuing a different agenda, which is nothing. There's all manner of allegations. So what Zwelinzima Vavi has done has actually given ammunition to his detractors to actually find something to actually beat him up with, because all along they have had nothing to use against him. So this is actually an opportunity. He has walked straight into it, so to speak.
Let's just pick up on the insert, because it was rather interesting to look at the comments from the NUM and then the comments from NUMSA, very different. What do you make of that? Because is this just dirty tactics campaign?
It's actually those divisions playing themselves out. If you listen to the language that the NUM General Secretary uses, you listen to the language that the NUMSA General Secretary uses, it tells you that these are the camps. In fact, you could argue that these are probably the leaders of the so-called camps that are holding different positions towards the General Secretary of the Federation. So this thing is going to play itself out. But one must say that over the past few months and of course years, the pro-Vavi group, so to speak, has actually been a lot more strategic. They have thought more, they have planned more, they have actually, strategized a lot more than the other group. Hence, Vavi, those who wanted Vavi out have been having a great deal of difficulty in dealing with him the way they would have wanted to do.
Many are saying that if this is a political witch hunt, which is very difficult to prove, this alone won't lead to Vavi's downfall. Would you agree with that?
Yes and no, because that possibility exists. Remember, if, I don't know, I'm not privy to COSATU's disciplinary issues, but looking at it at face value, with pedestrian, if you like, eyes, he committed this act inside an office. Even here at the SABC, at any other workplace, something your bosses would find a good enough reason to actually do something. To what extent, the punishment may be, I think that remains a moot point. But theoretically or hypothetically, something could be done and could be damaging to him and probably forever. In other words, it could cost him the position of General Secretary of COSATU.
Very briefly, let's just look at the accuser. She wrote an open letter in the weekend newspaper. Many are saying she should now come out and say why she's withdrawn these charges and why she hasn't laid any criminal charges against Vavi. What are your thoughts?
Well, there? She too has a lot to answer for. Including the disciplinary. If, for instance, if there was a disciplinary case that someone could institute against Vavi, they would have to institute that against her as well. But the point I was making out, the stakes are a hell lot higher in Vavi's case than is the case, which is why a lot of people who have supported Vavi throughout this period and over the years feel really disappointed, in fact betrayed even by what he has done, because they believe that there's a lot at stake for him. He should have been a hell lot more suspect, you know, than has proven to be the case.
As always, thank you for your time and your insight. That was our contributing editor, Vuyo Mvoko.